even tell you how excited I am to be back. It's been almost a month. I think in like 3 or 4 days it'll be a whole month since I talked to you. And I've been looking forward to it so much. And today seemed like the perfect day. So I've got my diffuser running. I've got a beeswax candle burning. I have some frankincense on, which is my absolute favorite oil. If you don't know about frankincense, you have to try it. It's incredible. It is mid-September 2018. Today is Saturday. It is a cloudy day here. I'm in the cottage today filming. It's nice to be back here again. If you know, this is where it started about a year ago. I started this podcast, which by the way is called the Autumn Acorn Knits. My name is Judy. I live here in New Hampshire with my sweetheart Joe and our cat Meryl. I have 3 grown kids who've moved on and 1 grandbaby Charlie, who is the love of my life. We live here in the White Mountain National Forest in a log cabin, and then this is our guest cottage. And this is where I film this podcast, which is all about knitting, crocheting, yarn dyeing, sometimes embroidery, and just other fun, crafty things. I have my tea ready, so I'm drinking out of my, I think it's called Tea Forte cup. This is the one I showed you a couple weeks ago that has this nice little tea basket in it. And the tea that I'm brewing is, I'm not going to be able to remember the name right now, but some of you had said you've tried it. It smells and tastes just like a fireball, so it's really, really delicious. And so I thought it would be fun today to talk about finished projects. Oh gosh, that's good. Acquisitions, yarn dyeing, some chatter. I do have a giveaway. I'm wearing a finished object. I'm so excited about this, guys. I have it on just to show you, and then I'm gonna like stop the film and then like put on a short sleeve tee, because while it's getting cooler, it's still a little too hot for merino, at least for this menopausal woman. It is. So yeah, I'll talk about it first. So this is the 5-day sweater. Let me stand up and show you. It's not gonna be easy, but I'll try to insert some photos here. You could sort of see the back. It has a split seam on the side. It has this lacy panel here in the front, garter here, drop sleeves, nice and roomy. I don't like tight sleeves, so these are perfect. There's another side seam down here. The only actual seaming you have to do is up the side here. Everything else is one piece. So I'm in love with this sweater. It took me 5 days. Sorry, I'm back. It took me 5 days to knit the extra small version, which I showed you last time. This is the extra small version. This one is knit in fisherman's wool, which is a lion brand wool. And this particular sample was also knit in a tighter gauge, so smaller needle. There is really no positive ease in this particular version, so the test knitters and I, who are amazing, thank you test knitters, you guys are like saints to me. I couldn't have done this without you. I'm so appreciative to every single one of you. You gave the best suggestions and tips, and just everything just pulled together so well because of all of you. So thank you from the bottom of my woolly heart. I'm like so appreciative. So I made that one first. Then I decided to make the stockinette version, which I showed you a lot of this also on the last podcast, but now it's finished. I just didn't get to block the sleeves yet. But this is the long sleeve version. Stockinette panel, lace panel, stockinette panel. Everything else is about the same. Again, long sleeves though, that's the biggest difference, and the fact that there isn't any garter stitch. So that was my second version. This one, again, is still not in the loose enough gauge or even the big enough cast on numbers. So we kept on going and kept on going to make it perfect. So then this was the third version that I knit, and I knit this one in medium, and added more stitches and increased the needle size so that I could get a looser, flowier fit. This is not knit in fisherman's wool. This is knit in my own yarn. This is a worsted weight merino, superwash merino that I hand dyed with my pumpkin spice colorway, and I just love it. This is so soft and so like drapey and loose, and it made the perfect 5-day sweater. But the whole point of this design was to do something in fisherman's wool because it's so affordable. So I'm going to turn off the film right now, go change because I'm heating up, and then I'll show you the last and final version that I knit. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Had to put on something cooler. That was hot. But yeah, as I was saying, this so far is my favorite version of the sweater. When I put it on, it honestly feels like I'm enveloped in a cloud. It's the most luxurious feeling. I'm hoping it'll wear well. So far I haven't noticed any pilling at all. So we'll see. I know merino can, get pilly, and I don't want that. So, but yeah, this was the third version of the 5-day sweater. And now I'm almost finished. I'm so close to being finished with the fourth version, which I also did in a medium. Again, this medium has quite a bit of positive ease. That I allow that in the pattern because I wanted this to be a loose, flowy, everyday sweater. I named it the 5-day sweater because it can be knit in 5 days, and it's a sweater you'll want to wear 5 days a week. Trust me. So here is the most recent version. Again, this is in fisherman's wool. The bottom. You can see how far I've gotten on the sleeve, and I ran out of yarn. So we ordered, Joe has Amazon Prime, so he ordered another skein, and it's supposed to be here today. I was really hoping that I could have this finished and show it to you, but unfortunately, and I don't have that far. You could see, like, these are three-quarter length sleeves. Let me match them up those so it's more accurate. So I wasn't that far off from the ribbing section. So on the merino, the yarn is much, because of the longer drape, the sleeves actually fit like a longer sleeve on me. Not long, but longer than it was intended. So the intent was so that I had a sleeve that I could work in and be able to do all the things that I do all day, because I never stop. So dishes and cleaning and all the things that I would do in a typical day around the house and the grounds, I wanted to still be able to do. It's so hard to see, but you get the idea. of course, if you decide you want to knit this pattern and you want the sleeves to be longer, go for it. You can do that. It's pretty simple to modify. You just keep on going. But yeah, this is fisherman's wool, and that's the same wool that the stockinette version was knit in, and the first garter version in the extra small was knit in. However, they come in different colors. So this was the natural. This I believe was called oatmeal, and then the newest one. I love having a pile of sweaters. What did I do the newest one in? I didn't write it down, but it's called birch tweed. So yeah, this is a tweed, and it is so gorgeous. And oh, by the way, this is my cute little progress keeper by Random Fandom bags that she sent me. So sweet. I love it. It's a little tea bag. But yeah, so you can see the color is really, really cool. And I love this color, and I'm so happy I chose it. But what happened was, normally the sweater only takes 2 skeins because fisherman's wool comes in these awesome big skeins of, I want to say 400, at least 450. I think it might even be 460 yards. So I assumed all of the colors were the same. Well, hi honey. Do you want to come and say hi, Meryl? Hey, come here. Meryl, look. She's ignoring me. Do you want a treat? Oh, I have your treats. You want to come and say hi to everyone? Good girl. Come say hi and you can have a treat. Say, my paws are very wet, but do you want that? Not really. No, she's a little camera shy. Here, you can have it on the floor. I know you'll eat it there. Sorry. So what was I saying? Oh my goodness, I'm such a squirrel today. So anyway, yes, we went to buy the wool for the newest version, and I thought, well, I'm only going to need 2 skeins. I didn't even think to check the yardage or anything. And I got home and I thought, well, the skeins just don't feel big and bulky enough. They feel thin. And I checked, and sure enough, it was missing 100 yards. So it was somewhere around 350, 360, somewhere in there. And I was like, wait a minute, it was the same price, but I'm getting gypped. So I, obviously, as you can see, instead of taking 2 skeins, it's going to take 2 and a little bit more, which is really, really frustrating. So if you do decide to make this pattern, keep an eye on that. I'm not sure if Lion Brand is just changing all of their skeins to make them less. Here's the other weird part. Normally, fisherman's wool is 100% virgin wool. This, oddly enough, is not. It is something like 70, I don't know, 70, let's just say 75%, but it's not an even number. Maybe 75% virgin wool, and then, but it's more, I don't know, it doesn't matter, and say 25% acrylic. So when I first saw that, I'm like, oh man, I really wanted woolly wool. That was the whole point. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, some people actually might prefer that because it's a lot harder to wreck a blend like that. And it's mostly wool. So it's not, we're still getting that woolly wool that I've been loving lately. So yes, this pattern will be out within the next couple of days. Hopefully by the time I upload this podcast, but I'm not so sure about that. But because I plan to get this uploaded tomorrow, which is Sunday. And all I need to do for the pattern, last thing, is just to insert photos. We took some this morning of the merino wool version, but I'm not sure if I'm going to want that version on the front cover or the fisherman's wool version, since that's really what the pattern specifies. But you could really use any worsted or heavy worsted weight yarn. So it'll be out soon. I know you guys have been super patient and it's taken longer than I expected, but so many things have been going on, and I'll fill you in on all of that. Oh, I just love that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so as you can see, I've been super busy with sweaters, so that's 4 sweaters. I don't have anything else finished. I think that was pretty darn good for me. I do have, I was going to talk to you about how much better it is to block. So in the directions, I actually say after you finish the front and back panels, which is one piece, that you should block it. And the reason I do that is just so that you can, when you do seam this one section, it's just easier. One of my test knitters, her yarn took a lot longer to dry than she wanted, so she couldn't get it done in the 5 days. And a lot of that had to do with the drying and waiting in between. So you don't have to wait in between, because if you're in a hurry and this is a gift knit, which would be perfect because it's so quick, then you don't have to block it. I experimented with that with this one, and I did not block any of this yet and just seamed it up, and it was fine. It really didn't make a difference, so just so you know. Okay, I have a work in progress. I feel like I'm going like 100 miles an hour, and I don't want to feel that way. So, deep breath, another sip of tea, and I'll try to slow down. Okay. Did I even mention that this is episode 21? And I will have all the places that you can find me somewhere in this video. Sorry. The place that I am the most often is Instagram, and I am the Autumn Acorn on Instagram. So you could clearly find me there. So what I decided as soon as this sweater pattern was near completion is that I needed to start another shawl. And I was watching A Wooden Nest. I really love that podcast. Talk about calming. That one really calms me down. Because, you know, some podcasts I really enjoy, but they make me like nervous or hyper tense, and I don't like that. I really need things that calm me down, which is why I'm constantly diffusing like calming oils and drinking tea and coffee and just trying to be cozy, and that just speaks to me because it calms me. So I need a calm podcast to watch. Anyway, here is, so I decided I would start a new shawl. I was watching A Wooden Nest, and she had ordered this beautiful yarn. And she ordered it from Abundant Earth Fiber, which is this wonderful company, and I believe they're on an island outside of Washington State. Don't quote me on that. Meryl's climbing the poles, and now she's meowing and pretending she's stuck at the top. I see you, honey. I see you. Anyway, so I went online and ordered 2 skeins or 2 hanks of this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. Isn't that beautiful? Let me try to show you. The base is called Joseph and Annie, and the colorway is Cinnamon, and it is 90% merino and 10% targi, which is a breed of sheep. So locally spun, locally dyed. I want to say all of their wool is organic, yes, and just gorgeous. This is a sport weight base, and like I said, I bought 2. So I started my new shawl design and I have not gotten very far yet. Yeah, I just started recently, and this is how far I've gotten so far. Just a little bit of a texture stitch in there, and if all goes well, this is an asymmetrical triangular shawl, and oh, it has the nicest stretch to it and bounce, and oh, I love it. But if this design goes well, I'm going to be adding in, I want it to be, I think, a three panel shawl, but 2 colors. So along with this cinnamon, I was thinking I would include some of my own hand-dyed, which is a pink, a blush pink. And I think those two will go well together. This is a blush pink I just dyed up recently using hibiscus. So, what do you think? Will that work? I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, I think it's going to be gorgeous. I wanted a shawl that was woolly, so obviously I wanted something with a pure wool. I mean, the nice thing about it, though, is you could use anything. You can use a superwash wool if you want. This is a sport weight. What else can I say about this? I can tell you the needle size in a minute. 6, so we're gonna go with US 6 for now, but I can't even see with my readers on. That's pretty sad. Anyway, I am so excited to keep working on this because the yarn is so beautiful that I'm really enjoying every stitch, like every single stitch. So I'm really grateful to A Wooden Nest for that recommendation. And that is housed in my sweet little camper bag by Twisted Yarn and Fiber. I just love this bag. Love it. And it's got a little pretty little progress keeper. But yeah, someday I hope to have a retro camper. I hope. It'd be nice. So that's really, really fun, and I can't wait to incorporate some of my yarn into that because it'll be the first time knitting with my new base, which is a non-superwash merino, so it's just wool, which I'm excited about. Okay, so that is the only thing I have, that's the only work in progress I have going on right now, aside from my 5-day sweater that I need to finish that sleeve and block it and then get more photos. Hopefully today. It's the perfect day for photos because it is not too hot and it's cloudy, so. Okay, let me see. Yep, we talked about that. So we will move on to natural yarn dyeing, and I don't have a lot of natural yarn dyeing just because I've been so busy, but I'll start with, I ordered some samples of different natural dyes from the yarntree.com. And I think that was an Etsy shop. So this, for example, is some madder root. That's the actual root. And maybe you know this, but this typically dyes up the color oranges. I bought a powdered madder root too. I'm sorry about the condition of these, but this one was a powder. I can't even squeeze it now. It's hard as a rock. I'm assuming that's from the heat because it got super, super hot and this was left in the barn. So that's the only thing I can think of. I'm glad that the actual root is still okay, but I'm a little disappointed that that happened. I didn't get to use a lot of it either. This one's logwood, which dyes a really pretty purple. And cooch, and I don't remember what color this dyes. I'll have to look that up, but that's called Cooch, C-U-T-H, T-C-H. So yeah, I started out by experimenting with the madder root, and I used it on 3 bases or 2 bases. I used it on my worsted, my sport, yeah, both two sports and 1 worsted. So this was the first dip in the madder, and this is on my sport weight, which is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, so non-superwash. And I like it. It actually variegated by itself. I did not variegate that yarn. It's just sort of how it came out of the pot, which I thought was super cool and super interesting. It's got its own like variegation, but I think this looks super pretty. I love it. I'm pretty happy with that. Then I put that same base, that sport weight, in the pot, you know, the second dip, whatever you want to call it, and it came out like this. So it's lighter. It's still very pretty though. But you can tell it's not as bright and vibrant. It's a lighter kind of peachy orangey kind of color, but I really like it. And then I put in my favorite base, which is my worsted merino base. This is, yeah, this is a superwash merino. So I now carry a superwash and a non-superwash merino. So this is the color that it came out on that base. So again, it's a bit lighter, and I can show you all 3 of them together. Beautiful though. I was super happy with the way they came out. So yeah, madder is fun. Then I tried the logwood, and I tried the logwood on my fingering weight base, which is a superwash merino nylon blend. It's a sock weight, and interestingly enough, I did not get purple. Now this was logwood with vinegar. I got this, which is so gorgeous, but so hard to describe because it has these areas of like, they are brown, they're like a brownish, and yet I also see a lot of plum and purple in there. So interesting, so fun, and yeah, I love it. I really, really love it. So these will be going in the shop if you're interested. I also dyed with the hibiscus, which I already showed you one of the skeins I got from the hibiscus, and I just kind of threw these together. They're not really skeined well, but that's the other one. It's a very soft blush pink, coming out a little more purple than it is. I don't know how to show you, but it's definitely a pink, more of a purplish pink. And then I used cochineal, which I've dyed with before and gotten some really bright pink. This one came out more of a soft pink. It actually looks brighter than it is there. Let me try to show you them together. Yeah, that gives you a pretty good idea of the difference though. Very pretty, super happy, and these were all on my new base, which is 100% merino in sport weight. So yeah, very fun. I'm still really, really enjoying dyeing, natural dyeing so much, and I can't wait to continue. Okay, What else? I did have some failures though. I dyed, the logwood gave me a prettier purple, but it was so dull. It just wasn't working, but I dyed up 2 skeins of that, and then I threw them in with, what did I throw them in with? Was it the cochineal? It was either the cochineal or the hibiscus. And I needed to add some more vinegar too, because they were in the Morden bath. As soon as I poured vinegar in, the purple turned this golden yellow color, brownish golden yellow. Really pretty. Loved it. Figured, well, I'm going to stop right there, and washed it out and all of that, and then dried it. And unfortunately, those 2 skeins and 2 of the others that I dyed with cochineal ended up with these brown spots on them, like here and here, because of where I had tied them up. Not brown spots, they were blue spots. I had used a blue dye, used those pieces of twine to wrap up the yarn, and then I reused, not thinking, and I didn't realize that there was still dye on those, and it got on 4 of my skeins, so I was very sad about that. So I think I'm just going to take all 4 of those and dye them all one color and make a new sweater design or something with them. I'm not sure yet. I feel like they've been dyed too many times though to put in the shop, because they lose, I don't know, they can get a little bit felted that way, but I don't mind at all knitting with that yarn, but I don't want to sell anything that's not perfect, so I won't. Okay, I think we're going to move on to acquisitions, then chatter, and then I have a giveaway. So acquisitions, I've already shown you the natural dyes I bought. I also got a new knit crate in the mail, and this is just the monthly subscription service that I receive every month from Knit Crate, and it's so exciting because I'm like a little kid on Christmas. So it's funny because Joe always tries to hide it from me so he can make the surprise more exciting. It's really cute because he knows how I get, but this month it's gorgeous. It's a blue tonal. Holy moly, how gorgeous is that? Oh, and this base is such a luxury base. They only charge $25, $24.99 to be exact, every month, and you get free shipping. You get 2 skeins of gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. You get 2 patterns, a crochet pattern and a knit pattern, and now they come in these great little booklets. You get 25% off anything in their online store, which has tons of things and yarns, and yeah, it's such a good deal. And this base is by Vitellana. The colorway is Night, and it has 329 yards, 100 grams, 70% superwash merino, 20% silk, 10% cashmere, sport weight. Like, really? Merino, silk, and cashmere? Like, that is the softest, heavenly thing ever. I love it so much. And so I can make the pattern that they suggest, or I can just make anything I want or save it up. So super fun. If you're interested and you sign up through my code, you don't have to pay any more. I just get a little residual income from that to help out. So I really do appreciate when you use my code. It means a lot to me, and it does make a difference, believe it or not. Those little bits and dollars add up. So, but it won't cost you anything. I'll leave all the information in the show notes. You'll find it at the end of this video at the bottom where there's notes and things. And I'll also put a code there for 20% off a box. But they're having a really cool special in September where you get to, like, when you go to the site through my link, you'll see this like Wheel of Fortune wheel, and you get to spin it. And I know one of the prizes is a free box, so you'd get 2 boxes for $24.99. your first month. And then there's other really cool prizes. So I definitely suggest that you check that out. So that was my acquisition. I got these. Aren't they beautiful? These are cotton plants. I think they're so pretty. I love them. And yeah, I haven't really been buying anything. So let's see. Chatter. I'm going to start with the good stuff. So I will be teaching crocheting at my cousin Jess. She has an Airstream. I've talked about this in other episodes. She has a retro vintage Airstream that she has all tricked out, and it's for teaching crafty classes. She teaches like a Harry Potter camp, and I will be teaching crocheting, embroidery, knitting, and yarn dyeing, all in the month of September and October, and maybe November too. I think we can get through to November. It's not heated, so I'm not sure, but yeah, super cool. She has it parked out in this big field, and it seats around 8 to 10 people. So yeah, I'll be starting up those classes again. I'm going to be having a Learn How to Crochet course on the 29th of September from 10 to 12, and then from 1 to 3 we'll be actually making a project. So we're just going to keep it very simple and make a spa cloth. But here is the one we'll be making using just single crochet and double crochet. And there's lots and lots of choices for colors. This is cotton, pure cotton yarn. So I'm so excited, and I don't know if any of you like live in Vermont or New Hampshire, but this class will be in Newbury, Vermont. So yeah, love to meet you if you can make it. That's it for acquisitions. I wanted to talk to you about camp and, oh, Charlie's birthday. My granddaughter turned 1. Her actual birthday was September 12th, but we had her party on the weekend before in Connecticut. Joe and I drove down. There were so many people. It was just fantastic. I will put some photos. But mostly I was the photographer for the day, so I had my real camera and I just took it very seriously, and I think I got some really nice photos. But it was such a good time. It was so great to see everyone, and Charlie was just as happy as she always is. That kiddo is always happy. She's crawling around like crazy, starting to try to get up. She'll pull herself up, but she's not standing completely unassisted yet, but super close. I expect she'll be walking in like within the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna head down again in December while her mom and dad go away for a few days. They're going to Niagara Falls, so I will be having a nice little playdate sleepover party with my grandbaby. So she's such a joy. I love her. Anyway, that was a great time. Oh, I also will be doing another giveaway. We just had the 500th follower giveaway, but we're getting so close to the 1,000th follower on YouTube, so I'm going to be doing another giveaway for that. I'm so excited. I got really pushed up by a mention, so let me back up. So remember the last time we met, I talked about Shauna from the podcast Adelaide Cottage, which I've been watching from the beginning, and since I discovered knitting podcasts, and I just love her. And I recommend you watch her podcast because I think you'll love it too. We have a lot in common, and she's much younger than I am, and her children are younger, but we just seem to have a lot of the same interests, and I think that we'd get along really well. But anyway, so when she'd reached out to me to tell me that she was watching my podcast, I was so excited. And then one evening, Joe was out in the barn working, and I had noticed she'd put up a post on Instagram saying that she had a new podcast out. So I put a comment saying, you know, I'm so excited, I can't wait to watch. And she goes, I may or may not have mentioned you. And I was like, what? So I got super excited, watched her podcast, was enjoying it tremendously. And at the end, sure enough, she actually talks about me. Like, I know I'm getting flustered just thinking about it, but it was really so sweet. And then after that, I just started getting so many more followers and comments, and it was so much fun. And I thanked her, and I'm just so grateful for this connection that we have, and I hope to meet her someday. So Shauna, if you're watching, thank you again. All of your kindness has meant the world to me, and just thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you. So now on to probably what some of you are waiting for or curious about or maybe interested in is the new job. So if you're new, you don't know this, but I took on a new teaching position at the end of August, and it was to teach library and STEM at 2 different schools part-time, so 3 days a week. And the last time that I podcast, I announced that I had gotten the job, and I was super excited but super nervous and worried and scared and all those things. Well, that anxiety and stress, all the joy went away and turned into worry, like tremendous, some of the worst, most intense stress I have felt in like a long time. And I've had so many things in my life that have been really stressful, but this one like took the cake. I couldn't stop crying. I was in a horrible depression. I didn't want to eat. I just wanted to sleep. I couldn't stop freaking out. I felt really unprepared because normally when you get a teaching job, you have time to plan your room and prepare lesson plans, and I didn't feel like I had any of that because I got the job and started, I think I was told about the position on Friday and started trainings on Monday. And then, you know, school opened the next week. So I felt really unprepared, which doesn't fit well with my personality at all. I'm a planner. And so I ended up like buying this curriculum for the STEM portion because I felt especially unprepared for that. It was very expensive, and I just realized that my classrooms just didn't have the supplies they needed. So I went out and spent hundreds of dollars getting ready, but still just feeling in my gut that this wasn't the right thing. So to make a long story short, I started the job, got through the first week. It was about 9,500 degrees, so hot. The doors had been left open to the school the weekend before for an open house, and there were flies everywhere. So it was really uncomfortable. aggressive flies and tremendous heat. But I don't know, I felt better after the first day. I had terrible blisters too. I had these giant blisters on my feet. I came home looking a mess. But the only sense of satisfaction I really had was that I got through it and I felt like I did okay. But it was so hard. It was so tiring to have just class after class after class coming in all the way up to 8th grade, which I'm not even licensed to teach. So to make a really long, sad story short, I quit the job. I couldn't see myself doing this every day. Even though it was 3 days a week, the planning that was involved to teach 150 students in 8 grades, 2 subjects, was tremendous. And I couldn't do it. I was so sad. I couldn't even drive to work without crying on the way there. Like, I cried all night. I looked a mess. My eyes were swollen every day. I was just like the Walking Dead. I really, really was. And Joe was really having a hard time seeing me like that. So I made the decision on Saturday, so the day after Friday was my last day of work that week, and Saturday I went out to the barn to do what I was going to do, which was lesson planning for the weekend, basically. And I just said to myself, I have never been this miserable in a job. Like, already I know in my heart, in my soul, this is not right for me. And so I made that decision that day, and I felt the most tremendous sense of relief I've ever felt. It felt like I was given a new life. Hi, honey. Are you back to say hi again? Do you want to come over and visit? Would you like to come and visit? Come say hi. You don't say hi enough. No, you really don't. Whoa. I'm dropping things. Here you go, sweetheart. So I took that entire day. I made the decision. Once I made the decision, that was it. I was not going back. Like, I was determined that it felt so right not to go back, that was it. I knew. But I still had to tell Joe. And I felt like I was letting down so many people. I told all of you guys on social media, and the response, like, you guys were so kind and so supportive and so sweet that I didn't want to let you down. I didn't want to let Joe down. I didn't want to let my daughter down because she was so excited. But the next day, then Sunday, I finally told him. I told Joe, and he was like, I already knew you were going to quit that job. And he wasn't surprised at all, and he was super supportive and sweet. And oh, she's purring. You're so happy right now, aren't you, sweetie? But you're still being camera shy? You don't want to look? No, but you hear your treat. I love you. Anyway, happy cannot even begin to describe how I feel, how I have felt since I made that decision. What did I have? Last week was, the first week after I made the decision. And it took me like that whole week before I even decided to post on Instagram that I did not take the job and why. And once again, all of you were so supportive and kind and sweet, and it just made everything just right. So, and I have to say, the 2 principals at the 2 schools were both super supportive and understanding, and said you're welcome here anytime. And so it ended on a good note. They were able to find someone to replace me, and it all worked out. So now I want nothing more than to make knitwear design and all the crafty things, dyeing yarn. I want that to be my job. Like, it brings me more joy than anything else, so it just makes sense that I try to make a go of it. So yeah, that's my plan. We'll see what happens. I still have a cleaning job that I do at a beautiful Airbnb up the road. I love doing that. That's really fun. So I don't mind at all if I continue to do that. That works for me. I have like fuzzies and kitty cat fur all over me now. Don't I, Meryl? Was that everything I wanted to talk about? Yeah, I just wanted to do the giveaway, which I already did on my random number generator app. So the question that I had asked was, what type of yarn would you rather knit or crochet with? Superwash or non-superwash? And the majority of you said superwash, but a lot of you like non-superwash to knit for yourself, but not gifts. So anytime you do a gift, you always think of the the superwash, so that in case they make a mistake and throw it in the wash, you don't know how to care for it, then that's fine. The garment will not be destroyed. So we had 52 entries, and I chose number 29. Random number generator chose number 29, and the winner was Janine Sabito, which was really exciting for me because Janine is a really, really sweet and supportive follower who also follows me on Instagram and has ordered and bought some of my yarn, and she's just a doll. So I'm really excited for you, Jean, that you won, and I wanted to offer you either a choice of either the book, which I didn't bring it with me, which is really silly, but it was called Vintage Knits, I think, or Little Exquisite Knits, it was called. I showed it on the last podcast. Or you can choose any pattern that you would like, and that includes the 5 days sweater. If you would like this pattern for your free pattern, that is fine too. It is ready enough that I could send that to you. So just let me know, and congratulations again. So excited. Like I said, I'll be doing another giveaway probably very soon for that 1,000th follower. So if you don't already follow the podcast and you've been enjoying it, please do follow. It helps me a lot. It gets me seen if you follow, share, like, and comment. I just love reading your comments too. And so let's see. Why don't I throw another question out there for a free pattern for next time I podcast? I'm kind of enjoying this. So let's see. I guess I'd like to know what patterns you would like to see me design. So would you like to see me design more knit patterns, crochet patterns, sweaters, shawls, cowls, mittens, blankets, ponchos, what else? The shrug pattern that I did recently is now a free pattern, by the way, on Ravelry. That's had over 350 downloads already, so I'm really excited about that. So maybe you'd like to see me make more shrugs, design more shrugs. Whatever you would like to see me design, let me know. Put a comment here on YouTube, and random number generator will choose a winner for the next time I podcast. But it was so fun talking to you. I really hope it is not a month before I can podcast again. I can almost promise you it won't be. Probably be 2 weeks. And like I said, that 5-day sweater should be out soon. And I am so happy you joined me today. And yeah, I will talk to you again soon. I hope you have a really lovely day. Bye.